It's the June plan with me. Let summer begin. Well, hi everyone. This is Crystal from A Crystal Clear Life, where we focus on planning, organizing, and living a more simplified life. Today, it is time to do our June plan with me, and I thought for this month I would really focus in on how I set up my dashboard. Now, if you followed me for any amount of time, you know I have lots of lists everywhere for things that I need to do and schedules that I need to keep and that kind of thing. And today I want to show you how I pull all of those lists together on a monthly basis, and I create a monthly dashboard for myself that I can refer back to week after week as I'm doing my weekly reviews and make sure I don't miss anything. All right, so if that sounds interesting, please go ahead and give me a thumbs up. A like really is the best compliment that you can leave me. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already. Remember, subscriptions are free. They cost you absolutely nothing, but they do help our channel and they do help build our community. And turn your notification bells all the way on so that you don't miss our Friday videos. All right, with that out of the way, let's get right into this video. Well, the first thing that I always like to do is I like to start with my reflections from the previous month. We are currently coming up into the last week of the month of May. In fact, today is Memorial Day. So if you are in the United States, happy Memorial Day to you. That is a day that we here in America celebrate all of our veterans and people in the military forces who have lost their lives in service to our country. So, you know, we are grateful for those who are part of our military and just want to extend a heartfelt thank you for the service and for the loved ones that you may have lost. All right. Well, unofficially, though, Memorial Day in the United States is the beginning of summer. That's why I said at the top, let summer begin. So, like I said, what I like to do is I like to start out with my reflection page. I have covered these questions that I do for reflections before. I will leave a link to the video of my reflections page up above and in the comments below if you'd like to check it out. May was very busy and fun for me. I visited friends. I did some strawberry picking. We got the greenhouse moved and the pool up. I finished a quilt. I did a lot of things. Fun and busy, and I love being fun and busy. So now that I have reflected on what I got accomplished in the month of May, I went ahead and set up my June section. And today we are going to focus on this June monthly dashboard here. You see, I kind of have a skeleton outline of what my dashboard looks like. When we finish today, it's going to be a lot fuller and have a lot more information on it about the things that I need or want to accomplish in the month of June. Okay? All right, so I'm going to work from left to right, maybe jumping around a little bit, but you'll see. I have lists of things kind of scattered throughout various notebooks that I like to bring together on this dashboard page. So the first place that I like to start is right here with my calendar so that I know exactly the things I have committed to and what is coming up, okay? All right, so the first thing that I'm going to do is delete this one. This is kind of a generic placeholder. And my long-term calendar is over here in the year-long section. And it is where I do year-long planning. I put in anything that is coming up and make notes as I go. So I'm going to go in here and just copy out all of June. So like that, highlight the whole thing, right click, copy, and take it back to June. And when I get here, I will paste on the side so that things don't get moved around. And I can bring that right into place right there, okay? I can make it wider if I would like so, to give me room to fill in those particular events, okay? All right, so that is like the first thing that I do. So now I have those things that I know I scheduled way in advance. I have holidays on here. We have Father's Day coming up in the month of June and the celebration of Juneteenth coming up in the month of June. I have a game day with the ladies and my family game night that I plan. They're already on here because that's scheduled way in advance. I also have down the date that I pay my bills because that's a set in stone for me. And I also have birthdays that are on here. Also in my long-term section back here, I do have a perpetual birthday calendar that looks like this. Again, it's just the year with people's birthdays listed, and that's where that information comes from. Okay, so I just copy those birthdays and put the dates on here. That helps me know as I'm going about, whose birthday is it? How many cards do I need to buy? When do I need to get them in the mail? That kind of thing. Okay. All right, the next thing that I like to do while I'm still working in my calendar is I usually go to my phone or I check Google Calendar on a separate screen monitor that I have here, and I go ahead and write down things that I know that are coming up that I want to keep on my calendar. For example, I just got a text last night that my nephew Nick is going to have a small graduation celebration. So I'm going to add that on the 9th. That's coming up soon. That means I've got to get that quilt done. I got 2 more sides to do, so I think I'll be done by the 9th. That will work out great, okay? Let's see. Let me look quickly at my calendar here. Remember, it's on another screen. Oh, yes. June 1st is the church yard sale, which I have volunteered to help with. So I need to get that on my calendar so I don't forget that. And let's see. On the 29th. 29th. A good friend of mine is having a celebration just because he's been cancer-free and happy about that, and just wants to celebrate and thank all of the people who have helped him and encouraged him and loved him along the way. So he's having a big party. So I want to make sure that that gets on there. And that brings me to the end of June. All right, so it looks like there are a few things to do. I do have one open weekend, which I like, but I like seeing those weekends shaded in a different color. And again, that's just the color shading. So if you go up here to, let's see if I can show you on the color shading, you can change the colors of the weekends or whatever day you want. If you want to highlight the holidays in a different color, Juneteenth is a federal holiday here, so I could make that maybe a blue if I wanted, just to signify that it's a special day, but it's a different color. I just like all of my special days in one color. So that shows me that I have something to do that weekend, something to do that weekend, something to do that weekend, and something to do the last weekend. So I do have one open weekend there, which is great. Okay? All right, so long-term calendar, birthday calendar, my Google Calendar for any new things that may have been added that didn't make it to my long-term calendar. And then I'm going to jump over to my garden page over here. And again, that is something that I store in my long-term planning, my master garden list here. And you see in June, the list is pretty short. I will copy that. For those of you who may be new, let me explain to you. I looked for a master gardener list that was for the zone that I'm in. I'm in 7B. or maybe A now. And I looked for a list that would give me a starting point to, kind of get myself started for things that I needed to do in the garden. And I happened to find this one, and I downloaded this pretty one with, the different seasons. And then I started making my own list, pulling the ideas off of here. That's how I ended up with this June one. So let's make a copy of that. We'll take it back to June, and we will paste it right up here. Enter and Control V to paste. June in the garden. Okay. And basically, there's not a lot to do in the garden. Remove any spent lilac or rhododendron blossoms. Deadhead the peonies and the spirea, hoping the spirea will rebloom. Pinch buds off of fall blooming plants like asters and mums and those kinds of things. Because if you don't keep those pinched, they will bloom in August instead of the fall when you want them to. And prune any azaleas or any other spring blooming plants right after they've bloomed. And of course, weeds, weeds, weeds. Okay, so we're going to weed to keep track of those. And I need to check the water for the west garden. Again, if you're new here, we just put a few new plants in the west garden. It's called the west garden because it's on the west side of my house. I'm really creative, I know. And anyway, there are new plants there, so I want to make sure that they are fully watered, this year so that they can get really established, okay? All of these things are things that I need to do, so I'm going to tag all of them. I'm going to go up here to my tags menu, and I'm going to go down here to garden tasks. And now all of those things have little check boxes beside them so that I can check them off as I finish them, okay? All right, so June in the garden is another list that I like to have together. But, as I pull all these things together, it helps my weekly planning become a lot more fluid and easy to do, because I really only have to check my dashboard. I don't have to go and look at the garden page and the home maintenance page and the weekly calendar and all of that. I have it all together, and that makes planning that weekly review process so much easier for me. Okay? All right, now moving on, here in the middle I have projects and goals. So what I need to do there is I need to go and look at my projects page and check on how my goals are doing, and see if there's anything new that I need to bring up, okay? So here's my project section. So let's take a look at that. And when you look at my very first page in my projects section, it is an index of all of the projects that I have going on. So if I look at Nick's quilt, remember his graduation party is coming up. The last thing that I have to do is bind his quilt. I'm not completely finished with that yet. So I'm going to leave that there. Actually, I can change that status or that checkbox as an action item, so that now it is also a to-do item, but it's also an action item, which will put it on a different list for me, okay? All right. Let's go back to the next project that I was working on, which is the otter quilt. And again, I am at the binding section of that, and I need to get that finished. So again, I'm going to go up here and I'm going to make that an action item because I want to get that finished and delivered to the baby. Okay? All right. And back to my projects. Petersburg has been put off. It's been on there for a while. The basement clean out. We are going to do that this summer. You see that I have my project list here. And what I want to do is I'm going to break it down into different areas, okay? So I'm going to, I've designated different areas in my basement. So for the first area is the rug area by the sliding glass door. I have a bunch of cardboard boxes stored there, and some computer equipment that no longer works. And all of those things need to go to the dump. Unfortunately for me, the dump has done a little bit of rearranging, and you don't have to wait for a special day anymore. So I can take that electronic equipment and take it to the dump and put it in the electronic equipment recycling area, where they then go through and take it apart and, get batteries and all that kind of stuff out of there. So since there's no longer a special day to do that, I can just go any day to the reclamation center and take it, and that will be great. So this rug area by the sliding glass door, I'm again going to make that an action item so that that's something that will come right up to the top. Okay. All right. So I like that. That is going to be the next one. I am actually going to highlight this one, just like I have the first two highlighted. And I can even grab this little handle here if I want and pull this to the top, because these other two projects are going to be finished soon, and I want to be able to work hard and fast on this basement project. Okay? All right. So when I look at these things, I know the otter quilt, Nick's quilt, and the basement clean out are things that I need to get done. So let's jump back over here. These are actually, you know what? I already have links to these pages. So let me do this instead. Let me copy these and go back to June and replace these. Control V. Now I have actual links to those pages. So when I come here to my June dashboard and I go, now what am I supposed to be doing on that otter quilt? I can just click there and see, exactly what needs to be done. Okay. When I come here to the basement, what do I need to do? Oh yeah, I'm working on the rug area by the sliding glass door. Okay. So having those links there to those pages, again, really helps me streamline my weekly reviews that I do on Friday. Okay. All right. So that takes care of the projects that I'm working on and the status and, all of that kind of stuff. Now let's jump over and look at my home maintenance list. So I have household tasks down here. So if I just hit tab, that's going to give me a new line there. And we're going to change the color shading. I don't want any color on that. And let's go to our household list. And again, just as I did with my garden list, I found something on Pinterest that had some ideas for a yearly home maintenance list, as you see here on the right-hand side. And I just made my own list, okay? Again, specific to my house, your list may look differently for your house. And I have a whole video that I did on this list as well. I'll leave that linked below. But as I look back here at May, what I like to do is make sure that I've checked off anything that I know that I did. And so the way that I've been doing that is just with my draw tool. Let's just make a bigger dot here so you guys can see it. And let's see, replace the air conditioning filters. We did that. I have not cleaned the washing machine or the dryer lint, run the vacuum down in there. I have not done that yet. That is coming up this week with that zone cleaning. Okay. I'm not spraying for ticks yet. They're not that bad. Every 10 years for the septic system. This is not the year. And clean the carpet. Again, I did not do that yet. That will be this week. Okay. So I'm not going to mark those things yet. But what I want to do is I want to come over here and I want to pick up the things that I have for June, and I'm going to make a copy of those. I'm going to take them back to June and I'm going to place them right in here. Paste. And you see that it will add them. So I want to wash the windows as I go through my zone cleaning. I want to make sure that the inside and outside of those windows are washed. So by the end of the month, I should have done all of the windows that I can reach in the house. Any extra dirt on the siding from the pollen, that we have so much pollen, it might get a quick power wash or wash down with the hose just to get the the residual pollen and tree pieces off of it. And then power wash the deck and front porch if that needs it. Again, just to knock the pollen down. Clean the gutters and downspouts. My husband does that on a regular basis, especially the gutter that's right over the front porch. It's very easy to get to, and that seems to be the one that has the most problems, okay? And then replace the whole house water filter, and that is just something that's on a schedule. You know, you just unscrew it, put the new filter in, and you're done. And then the drain in the basement, right at the bottom of the basement steps. We always need to check that for any leaves or debris or, you know, things that fall from the trees, because if we get those flash thunderstorms and we get a lot of rain down there, it will flood. So we like to keep that cleaned, okay? Again, you can see not a lot of home maintenance tasks for the month of June. June is about being out and about and celebrating, you know, weddings and graduations and all those fun things. So I try not to put too many heavy things in the month of June, okay? All right. This next box down here is a thing that I just started this year. What in the world? And it's really just a place for me to write down news, headlines, and other happenings so that I can keep track of, you know, things that are going on in the world. So, you know, I might write down how my favorite baseball team's doing, or, you know, what's happening in, you know, with the wars that we have going on in the world, or the Olympics coming up, or, you know, something like that. So just to kind of give myself some context as to what's happening in the world beyond my life. All right, the next thing that I do is I usually look at any holiday plans that I might have, especially around the Christmas holidays. I'm somebody who starts planning in October for the Christmas holidays because I want to make sure that the house is decluttered and cleaned and all that kind of stuff. Well, in June, there's kind of the same thing. I don't really, you know, have it as detailed, but there is a lot of extra things that I do outside. Normally, you know, I have pool maintenance to do because we have our little 18-foot blow-up pool that we have in the backyard. So I have pool maintenance to do. That kind of gets added to my morning routine, checking the filter, all of that kind of stuff. And, you know, since we spend so much more time outside during the summer, you know, kind of that resort, you know, if you've ever been to a resort where, you know, there's a little person who comes around and sweeps off the chairs and wipes down the tables and puts the umbrellas up and, you know, deadheads the flowers so it looks nice and clean and you know, an enjoyable place to be. Well, at this resort, that happens to be me. So when I go out to sweep the porches and feed the birds as part of my morning routine, I now tend to tidy up the plants and, you know, sweep the debris off of the chairs and that kind of thing, so that if it is nice out and we want to be outside, it's a much more pleasant environment to be in. Okay. All right. So I don't really have any holiday things, but I do in my mind know that I have those summertime chores that I like to take care of. Okay. Also, along with that is, if you've done a seasonal brain dump or you have a seasonal list that you need to take care of, I did a seasonal guided brain dump here on the channel. I'll leave that link below and up above if you would like to check that out. It really helps you go through and think about all of the things that you might need to change with the season. Another thing, you know, that's a seasonal item for me is always having gas for the lawnmower and the tractor so that I can keep that grass cut and, you know, that kind of thing. There's a lot more of that kind of thing that happens in the summertime, certainly, than in the winter. All right, quickly, just to run through the seasonal brain dump, you know, things to think about that you might want to add for the season. Do you have any seasonal travel coming up? Do you have the luggage ready for that? You know, have you bought your tickets and done all your planning, that kind of thing? Seasonal clothing. What do you need maybe for each of the family members for, you know, the summer coming up? Do you have any special events that you're going to? How's everybody's bathing suits working? You know, shorts, sandals, that kind of thing. And then for the hobbies, you know, take a look at your hobbies that you do. My husband plays tennis, so do I need to look at the racket? Does he need new tennis balls? What do I need for the pool? You know, that kind of thing. So hobbies is another great one to look at. Equipment, the vehicles, like I was talking about, the lawnmower. Is the lawnmower blade sharpened? Do I have, an extra belt in case something breaks? Do I have gas for those things? All of that kind of stuff, okay? Landscape items. Do you need fertilizer for, maybe some of your container plants? Do you need to look at irrigation hoses or something like that? Do you need a new garden hose? Do you need a new pair of gloves? Do you need a new weeding tool? What is working, okay? And then your outdoor rooms, having all of that set up, the furniture, the umbrellas. Do you want to put down a new rug this year? I added the new fabric to my sling chairs. The sling chairs themselves are about 20 years old, but with about $100 worth of fabric and a weekend's time, I now have new chairs for my table out back. So that's kind of nice, okay? And then things to clean and organize. I think with the heat of the summer, being in the basement where it's cooler is a good time to do that. Then maybe in the fall, I'll work on the garage. And home maintenance, what are some things that you need to look at? Gutter cleaning, power washing, HVAC checks, sediment from water heaters, that kind of thing. Do you need to make any medical appointments? Are you somebody that has every 6-month appointments that you need to record? If not, you need some other medical things for the summer, some Benadryl in case somebody gets stung by a bee, sunscreen, bug spray, check your first aid supplies, that kind of thing. And how about those pets? Do they need grooming? Do they need flea and tick stuff? Do you need to order some special food or something for them? Do you need to make arrangements if you're traveling for your pets? All kinds of things. Financial matters. It's a good time to start savings funds or check to make sure that you're making adequate payments into your savings funds. Do you have anything that's expiring that you need to roll over, like a CD or a savings bond or something like that? And how are your holiday savings going? And people and places, who are you going to go visit? Why? What events are happening? What local attractions are happening? I always look forward to Shakespeare in the Park, and so I can't wait to find out when that's going to happen so I can get that on my schedule. And then upcoming events, like I said, Shakespeare in the Park, weddings, new babies, retirements, all of that fun stuff. And community service. What do I want to do to volunteer to give back to the community for the summer? I already said that I volunteered to work at the church yard sale. That's just one of many things I'm sure that I will be doing. And then lastly, the projects list, creative projects, things that need to be started, things that need to be finished. Okay, so that's just some of the triggers that I use when I do a seasonal brain dump. Okay, back to June, my dashboard is filling up. One thing that I like to do at this point is I like to go through my find tasks, and that's right up here. And I use tags for all kinds of things. Here's my whole long tags list. And I have lots of videos about tags. I'll leave them linked below and up above. But I like to use tags because when I do a find tags list, all the things that may have fallen through the cracks come up. You can see it generating over here in purple. And this is a great time as I finish one month and move to the next month that I go through here and take a look. For example, if I look at some action items here, anchor and unanchor the tie-down straps. All of these things have to do with moving the greenhouse. So if I want to know anchor and unanchor the straps, what is that? If I click on it, it takes you to the page where all of these things happened about moving the greenhouse. Okay, so this is my little tiny Eagle Peak greenhouse that I have in the backyard, and it gets moved from the backyard, which is here, to the front yard, which is here. Okay, so when I look at moving things, I know that I did pull up the anchors, so I did that. I did bricks and landscape fabric were moved. I moved the physical greenhouse. We did it on the tractor this year, so that was helpful. The pilot light's not been put out yet, but I need to put that on my list. So before I forget about that, I'm going to jump back over to June, and I am going to add, let's see, let's add a new one. So I need to turn the pilot light off in the fireplace. It's been a very cool, wet spring, so that's part of why we didn't do that yet, okay? Now looking back at my list, put the suitcase away in the master bedroom closet. Well, that was on my list from April, and I did not get to that. So what I am going to do is I am going to add that here, again, under household tasks. And when I will do that is when I get to that in the weekly zone cleaning, okay? So suitcase away in closet, okay? All right, so you see how doing, this kind of thing, it really works well. Things that might have gotten, misplaced or forgotten about can be put back on a list that I can see front and center, okay? Screen or curtain for open doors, I put those up yesterday. And then the magazines also in the master bedroom. So wiper fluid for the CRV I did, okay? So as you see, I can just go through and check off things that I did and things that I didn't do get added to the list to do this month, okay? So that tag summary works really great with all of the various tags that I have. And you can see I have lots and lots of different tags, okay? All right, great. Now, the last thing that I really will do is I might go back to some of the weeks in May and take a look at the last couple of weeks in May. So, for example, this is the week that we're currently in. There's nothing in there. But for this week prior to that, the graduation party, I already have that on my list. Memorial Day is over now. The yard sale is coming up. Oh, and Jerry is going to visit. So let me go back to June and add that. So that's the same day as the yard sale. And Jerry is going to visit, okay? So now I have that. I haven't missed anything from those weeks, all right? Okay, and the last thing that I really want to take a look at is I review my goals. And so if I look at my goals page for June, I have my quarterly goals, and in fact, last week's video was just about my goals, so I'm not going to cover all of that here. But what I do is I have my goals on this page. This one happens to be for June, and I really try to break it down, okay? So I know exactly what I need to do and when. I have my game day scheduled here. I have my family game night scheduled here, and even way down here in the bottom, let me show you this. Way down here at the bottom, I have all of the cleaning zones from the Fly Lady. So zone 1 is the entrance, dining room, and porch area. Zone 2 is the kitchen. Zone 3 is the bedrooms, the bathrooms, and the office. Okay, so that's the extra bedroom, like the guest bedroom and that kind of thing. But the bathroom is in zone 3. Zone 4 is the master bedroom, the master bathroom, and the master closet, okay? So zone 4, week 4, is when I need to go up here, week 4, and you see here I have zone 4, clean, restock, and decoration swap. I need to add in there, put suitcase away, and purge magazine. Okay, so that when I get to my week 4 goals and I copy that into my weekly section, I will remember to put the suitcase away and to purge the magazines for that particular week. Okay, so that's very handy for me to have also. And I like to keep track of that with my goals on this particular page. So now I have my dashboard done, which looks like this, with no decorations, but You know, that just makes it pretty. I'll do that after the video. And I have my goals, which looks like this. So when I go to do my week 1 planning, okay, what I can do is I can go back to my goals and I can copy this week 1 goals. So copy that, take that back to week 1, paste on the side. And you know what? I don't need week 1. I just need that. And then I can come over here and paste, and it adds that in just like so. Okay. And then I can go to my dashboard and I can add any things that are coming up here. Nick's graduation party will be on the 9th. My weeks would go from the 3rd to the 9th. So I will copy that, and down here, this will be the 9th, and I will add Nick's graduation party, okay? All right, so you see how when I go to do my weekly planning, I really only need to look at my dashboard because it has all the things that I need to do, and my goals because I already have it broken down into what I want to do for each week, and it really comes together pretty quickly, okay? All right. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I hope that you learned something as you go about seeing all of my various lists that I have and how I really like to bring those together, consolidate them onto one page so that I can make my weekly review a little quicker. All right. So this took me about 30 minutes to do. And then my weekly planning, my weekly review planning really only takes me about 15 minutes because I really only have 2 places to go and look. My June dashboard, my goals, and sometimes I actually check my Google Calendar as well just to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Okay? Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate it. And if you are in the Northern Hemisphere and you are starting summer, I wish everybody a safe and a healthy summer. And if you're in the Southern Hemisphere and you're getting ready for winter, I hope that some of the ideas that we talked about today might help you transition into that season as well. Well, until next time, here's hoping that you can live a more organized and simplified life through better planning. I use OneNote. Until next time, okay, bye.